A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend. I'm Maithripala. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
President to appoint committee to investigate unrest in Kandy. Politicians visit Kandy to inquire ground situation. Social media block to be lifted in the coming days. Gun-wielding woman caught on tape. Grand finale of Sirasa Junior Superstar today.
President Maithripala left the island this morning on an official visit to India and Japan.
At the joint invitation of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron, President Sri will participate at the first conference of the International Solar Alliance founding members, which will be convened on the 11th of March in New Delhi. President Sri is expected to hold talks with his Indian counterpart, Indian Prime Minister, and other heads of state on the sidelines of the conference. Thereafter, the President will fly to Japan at the invitation of the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. President Maithripala will undertake a state visit to Japan from the 12th to the 17th of March 2018. President Sri is scheduled to have an imperial audience with His Majesty Emperor Akihito on the 13th of March, and on the 14th of March he will meet Prime Minister Shinzo Abe for summit talks.
President Maithripala Sirisena has decided to appoint a presidential committee to investigate the incidents that were reported from several areas in the Kandy district.
The President's media division said the committee will comprise 3 retired judges and they will be appointed in the coming days. The committee is tasked with investigating the reasons that led to a situation of unrest, any violation of the law and regulations, assess damages caused to life and property, the influence of any conspiratorial force, and make recommendations to prevent such incidents from recurring in the future. The committee is expected to inquire the manner in which authorities acted to contain the situation and accountability.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe toured the Kandy area today, days after violent scenes broke out in the administrative district.
The curfew imposed for the Kandy administrative district, excluding the Kandy municipality, came to an end at 5 this morning. As life returned to normal in the Kandy district, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe visited the area this morning to look into the current situation. The Prime Minister toured several parts of Kandy, including Digana and Akurana, areas where unrest was reported. The Prime Minister was accompanied by a group including Inspector General of Police Pujit Jayasundara, Army Commander Lieutenant General Mahesh Senanayake, State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena and Minister of Law and Order Ranjit Madhyama Bandara. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe thereafter attended a special meeting of the Kandy District Security Committee at the Kandy District Secretariat.
I always suspected this issue would escalate because the headquarters of this organization called Mahasen Balakai was based in Digana. So my instinct said this issue would inflame. I asked the police to constantly implement a security mechanism. I also requested that people from outside be prevented from coming in, but the police did not take much notice of it. There were several officials who performed their duties properly, so you cannot say that, sir. But he was saying what the people have said. The issue concerning those in uniform protected the people may be viewed differently from one another. A person who constantly argues with me said he is always ready to debate with me, but just like me, even he does not want any violence. He said, let's discuss this issue over a cup of tea or 2. Then I said, I do not want to get involved because I drink only black coffee. Whatever said and done, all races and religions in this country should be able to live. If there is anyone who broke the law, take action against them.
Residents of areas affected by the unrest expressed the following views.
Muslim Janatawai බලගොල්ල බෞද්ධ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේත් මෙතන ඉතියා. අගමැතිතුමාට යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා මෙතන වෙලා තියෙන ආණිය පොඩ්ඩක් බලලා යන්න.
නමුත් එතන නවත්තන්න නැතුවම ආපහු ගියා.
දෙයිල ඒගොල්ලොත් බලන්න ඕනේ නේ මෙවනේ විස්තර බලලා මොනවාරි කරගන්න ඕනේ ආණ්ඩුවේ රජය කිව්වනානේ.
Political party representatives led by Speaker Karu Chowsurya too visited Kandy today to inquire into the ground situation.
The delegation first called on the Mahanayakas of the Malwatu and Askari chapters and thereafter met with the people living in the areas where there was unrest. Members from political parties represented in Parliament were also among those who undertook this visit.
Leader of the JVP, Anrukumara Dissanayake, accompanied by several party members, visited Kandy today.
It is clear there is a political agenda behind these racist incidents. Rather than the politics where the Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim communities remain in peace and fight for their rights, the politics engaged at present is where communities are being turned against each other. That is the type of politics these groups are engaged in. We request all citizens to not engage in unnecessary violent acts. Do not be feared by false rumours.
Minister Chandima Veerakkudi, speaking in Booster today, spoke on the reason that led to an unrest in the recent days.
Where are the Muslim leaders? Their children go to Sinhala Buddhist schools in Colombo. They live together with the Sinhala community. They eat, drink and engage in other activities in the same way. What is happening now? What about the Tamil leaders? They point the finger at us. The children of the Northern Chief Minister got married to women from over here. The Sinhala community are good friends. I think he must be at the Royal College big match. But what does he do when he goes to the village? He speaks to the Tamils in a way that provokes racism. As Sinhala Buddhist leaders, we must not provoke the Sinhala community. If Muslim and Tamil leaders also follow a double standard, it is very wrong. This needs to be understood.
In light of the unrest which transpired in Digana, Parliamentarian Ravi Karunanayake warns there are attempts by certain political groups to ignite communal clashes in the Colombo district as well. The MP made this statement speaking to reporters at an event held in Colombo this morning.
I honestly thank everyone in the Colombo district today. There were cheap attempts by a few of those in the opposition and even in the ruling party to spread extremism. There were attempts to cover them as well. But our people condemned it, which we are very thankful for. May it be the United National Party or the opposition who are involved in this. If they are doing this to gain temporary pleasure in politics, I call on the people to take action against it. The issue with us sometimes is that we don't take direct decisions.
The IT industry in Sri Lanka believes the temporary block imposed on social media following the incidents reported in Digana will be lifted in the coming days.
I believe certain IPs have been released and WhatsApp is already operating. I think Viber will also be restored by tomorrow. We hope the government would release these services soon.
Kitsiri Manchanayake also commented on what measures need to be adopted to prevent the spread of false and racist material across social media.
We are prepared to fully support the government. A committee involving Sri Lanka Police, CID, the private sectors and ICTA should be appointed to monitor activity. In addition, the government can speak to the international companies that operate these platforms and remove all the material that incite racism and hate. There is a proper operation implemented in Singapore. China and the United States is also following such a system.
Police have arrested 146 people over the incidents that took place in Kandy. A special operations centre has been set up at police headquarters to extract information regarding individuals and groups involved in acts of violence.
Police spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara, speaking to Newsfirst, said the information obtained by the Special Operations Centre will be analysed and distributed to all respective divisions for action to be taken. The general public can provide information via 0113 024892 and 0113 024883. Information can also be emailed to phqops@police.lk.
The International Monetary Fund says Sri Lanka's economy remains vulnerable due to adverse shocks due to its large public debt and low external buffers.
In a statement following the conclusion of its 2018 Article 4 mission with Sri Lanka, the IMF says the economy is gradually normalizing following a series of weather-related shocks in 2017 and may grow 4.4% this year. This is well below the Sri Lankan Central Bank's forecast of 5 to 5.5%, but better than 2017's estimated growth of 4%. This year's growth will be supported by a recovery in agriculture and industry and robust expansion in the services sector, while annual growth rates are expected to reach 5% over the medium term. Inflation is projected to slow around 5% by the end of 2018 as food prices stabilize. The IMF says addressing Sri Lanka's sizable gender gap and boosting female labour force participation will require labour market reforms and effective gender budgeting, including through vocational training, flexible work arrangements, safe transportation and childcare support. A well-designed natural disaster risk financing framework will help Sri Lanka address costs associated with climate change.
Southern Provincial Councillor M.K. Carson and his wife, who were arrested for assaulting a private bus driver, were remanded until the 13th of March by the Kadiwala Magistrate Court.
Southern Provincial Councillor M.K. Carson and his wife were captured on camera assaulting a private bus driver at the Koswatha junction in Battaramulla. The wife of the Provincial Councillor had assaulted the bus driver last evening for not giving way for the SUV she and her husband were travelling in. At this moment, a pistol was seen in the hand of the Provincial Councillor's wife. The Provincial Councillor and his wife were arrested last evening, and the injured bus driver is being treated at the Mullaria Hospital. The arrested politician is M.K. Carson. He is the son of former Southern Province Minister M.K. Ranjith alias Chandi Malli. M.K. Ranjith alias Chandi Malli was a close associate of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. He was shot dead by an unidentified gunman in 2003 when leaving the Criminal Investigations Department in Fort.
Only the person who holds the legal license to a firearm can be in possession of the said firearm. If the wife is using the firearm to which a license was issued to the name of the husband, or if the son is using the firearm to which a license was issued to the name of the father, that is a serious crime. Such persons shall be punished on conviction for such offence with death or imprisonment for life as per the Firearms Ordinance. A firearm is issued to an individual for his or her own protection. If firearms are being used to intimidate and threaten others in society, I believe these firearms are issued to people who are not suitable to possess one at all.
Ramit Rambukwala, the son of MP Kehelia Rambukwala, has been taken into police custody. Ramit Rambukwala was arrested for allegedly threatening two youth with a firearm and an assault following a motor accident reported last night in Narahenpeta. Though Rambukwala was to be produced in court this evening, the two complainants, who are university students, had informed police they would be withdrawing the complaint. A police source said, therefore, Rambukwala will have to be released without filing a case.
UNP Kandy District Parliamentarian Ananda Aludgamage and his supporters held a protest opposite the Nawalpitiya police station today.
Ananda Aludgamage had arrived at the fuel station opposite the police station to pump fuel to his vehicle at around 11:30 last night. Since the fuel station was closed at that time, MP Aludgamage had gone into the police station and requested the fuel station be opened so that he can obtain fuel for his vehicle. The officer in charge of the police station has informed the MP that he does not possess the power to open the fuel station. Ananda Aludgamage launched a protest opposite the police station around 5:30 a.m. citing this reason. The protesters demand that the officer in charge be transferred. During the protest, the MP made a phone call.
How will we engage in politics? If this is the situation a parliamentarian in the ruling party is facing, then this government is responsible. The people in high positions within government are responsible. A parliamentarian was made to sleep on the road. This government does not have a law. Sir, you got appointed recently. You know me. I will not get up. Change this man. Sir, bring the ASP or the DIG here and make a promise.
සර් මේ ඊයේ පෙරේදා පත්තිම හම්බුනේ සර් මම සර් මම පුද්ගලිකව දන්න ඕන මම නැගිටින්න සර් මේ මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක මේ මිනිහා අයින් කරන්න සර් ඉස්සෙල්ලා සෑ පොරොන්දු වෙලා මට උත්තරයක් දෙන්න SSP හරි DIG හරි කවුරු හරි ගෙනලා මට පොරොන්දු නැත්තම් නැගිටින්නේ නැහැ මම.
The protest was held till around 2 p.m. and the Parliamentarian got up and left thereafter. As a result of the protest launched by the Parliamentarian, vehicular movement along the Gampula-Navalapitiya road was hampered.
It's been exactly 1 month since the local government elections were held. However, not only is there a failure to establish councils, political parties have failed to even name their candidates who will be elected to those local government bodies.
Over the recent days, reports surfaced about certain candidates who contested the polls were being treated unjustly when members were being named for local government institutions. Former opposition leader of the Uhana Pradeshya Sabha, Thaminda Dayas Abegunawardena, who contested from the United National Party, convening a media briefing, spoke about such unjustly treatment.
I've been serving in this local government body since 1991. I served as chairman and my last position was opposition leader. The United National Party lost all 17 seats but managed to get 7 bonus seats. Thereafter an instruction was given to include 50% of the candidates who lost and 50% of those in the list. It was also told to select the candidate with the highest voter percentage. At present, the UNP leaders in the district, like Dayagamage, are against me. I must mention it here. Starting tomorrow, we will bring together all the Pradesh Sabha members and the chairman as well as the branch officers to defeat Dayagamage at the next parliamentary election.
A group representing the United National Party who aspired for seats at both the Srija Wardhanapura Court Municipal Council and the Sitawaka Pradeshya Sabha demonstrated opposite the UNP headquarters, Sirikota. They claimed the party failed to provide them with the seats that were promised.
I was not allowed to contest. I am number 4 in the electorate. They included a defeated person instead of me. I was patient. I was included in the list as per the request of the Prime Minister. They have included a person who does not have votes into the list.
Only 6 women were included in the list, but it does not include my name. I hold the highest percentage in the electorate that won, but those who are below me have been appointed.
A portion of the list of members who will be appointed to local government institutions was handed over to the government printer yesterday. 8,356 members were elected from the recent local government elections. But before the local government bodies were dissolved, there were only 4,815 members. Therefore, following the election, the number increased by 3,541 members. According to the 2016 budget, around 90 million rupees is spent on salaries and other allowances for local government bodies per month, and the figure exceeds 1.08 billion annually. Therefore, with the increase in the number of members, the allocation would be around 2.16 billion rupees.
4 billion rupees was spent on the local government elections. Unstable local government bodies was the final result we got after spending 4 billion rupees. In the system we introduced, there is an electoral system where 30% goes to the defeated group. The new amendment did not look into this. All they wanted was to make this a 50-50 situation. The number, which was 4,500, has increased to 9,500. The formula they used cannot bear this cost.
The grand finale of Sirisa Junior Superstar is currently underway at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana. 4 finalists selected from among hundreds are competing at the grand finale. The final 4 are Ishini Thamodya, Rowan Earl, Pinsara Madhubashana and Sumira Adipa. Taking a look at more local stories, agro-climatologists say though the country would experience a certain amount of rainfall during the Yalla season, it would not be adequate for agriculture purposes.
The Yala harvesting season, which is already in effect, concludes in May. Weather specialists suggest though all agroecological regions of the country may experience a near or above normal rainfall in the afternoon or during the evening hours for a short time, this would not be adequate for harvesting. They argue that most of the irrigation tanks and reservoirs located in dry and intermediate zones of the country carried over only a very lesser storage from the previous Maha season. Thereby the tanks are at poor storage state for the Yala season this time around.
At all possible instances, switch to vegetable cultivation or alternative crops if the drainage conditions permit. Look for supplementary irrigation sources for upland crops. Reduce the time frame used for land preparation. If it's paddy cultivation, confine varieties which have an age group of 2.5 or 3 months.
Agrarian communities say that the government should heed to the advice provided by experts and look at alternative methods.
When there are serious advice of this nature coming in from all around, the government does not seem to give any attention. What is the government doing? They have a power struggle. Through this, the farmer will be crippled. They will bring in rice from foreign countries. The people will have to buy these rice stocks that are toxic at high prices.
The Met Department says due to the wavy-type disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, rainy weather condition is expected to continue over the island.
The Department of Meteorology says heavy falls, about 100 millimeters, can be expected at some places, particularly in Uva and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Ampara and Batiklo districts. It adds cloudy skies and fairly strong gusty winds of up to 40 to 45 kilometers per hour can be expected over the island. The department states that there may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers, and the general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. Strong winds blew across Hambantota last evening during a heavy rainfall. The Hambantota bus stand was damaged by strong winds. Several areas in Kandy experienced a heavy downpour this afternoon.
The village of Imeyangoda was battered by the drought, and the locals here made numerous requests to the authorities for a solution. Since the requests had fallen on deaf ears, the locals took matters into their own hands and started to construct a small dam.
The village of Imeyangoda, located in Maithripala, constantly faces a drought. Therefore, drying up trees and water sources is nothing new to them. When it rains in the hills, the water flows down the Thimmagama mountain and enters into the Gurukanda waterway and then into the Daduroya before finally meeting the sea. Several years ago, the locals pointed out to the authorities if a small dam was constructed across the Gurukanda waterway, then water can be retained and it would be an ideal solution to the water issue that they are facing. However, the authorities paid no attention to their proposal. Therefore, the locals decided to take matters into their own hands and construct a small dam. That is the Thimmagama mountain. The left slope is on the other side. The water flows down the mountain and comes here and enters into this waterway. We hope to retain that water at this location. These locals even received the blessings of the Mahasangha, and thus the construction of the Gurukanda Dam commenced. For the past 35 years, we made proposals to the leaders to construct a dam over here. However, every process on the matter was stalled. We decided to construct a dam and collect water and provide water to the entire area. The businessmen and other donors came forward for this task. We decided to collect the water that is going to waste from this area. If we can construct a dam and collect the water for our needs, it would be a great thing. That is why we have started construction. Those locals who use their own strength to bring about a solution to the issue they face sets a fine example to many others.
Residents living in the Grakli estate in Dibulupatan in Haddon have discovered 2 leopard cubs. The 2 leopard cubs were spotted by a group of children who were playing near a forest area in the estate. The children had informed the villagers they had spotted 4 cubs in the forest. However, 2 of them have escaped. The area residents had informed the police and wildlife department, who had arrived and taken away these cubs. A group of treasure hunters were arrested by the police special task force while excavating for treasure in the Waggolla Kadava Reserve in Horopatana.
Personnel attached to the police special task force branch in Kapitagolava entered the forest area following a tip-off. 3 treasure hunters were arrested and they were remanded for 14 days after being produced before courts.
Chasing a target of 215 runs, Bangladesh were 33 for no loss at the end of that third over. Moving on, today was day 2 of the 139th Battle of the Blues played between Royal College Colombo and St Thomas's College Mount Lavinia. At stumps today, the Thomians batting their second innings were on 3 for no loss.
Royal College Colombo opened day 2 at the SSC grounds with an overnight score of 33 for 3. Pasindu Surya Bandara went on to score 46 runs. Kavinu Madara Singha posted 37 while Dimal Vijay Sekara chipped in with 23 runs. Rain interrupted play when Royal College was on 151 runs with a loss of 9 wickets. However, after play resumed, Royal College was bundled out for 178. Kalana Pereira bagged 5 wickets for 57, while Delan Piris picked up 4 wickets for 40 runs. Earlier batting in their first innings, St Thomas's College posted 156 runs for 9, declared in 64.3 overs.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.